So a great room is interesting. It presents its own wonderful set of challenges. That's how I like to see it, as a challenge. It's a great, big, wonderful space, which I love, and I love the way that our family functions in a great room. And I know that many of you have great rooms too. But then I'm always searching for these little intimate spots to create more warmth and more interest. And so this is one of my favorite spots in the great room because it is this kind of little spot. And so it's always one of the spots I come back to over and over. Ooh, what am I going to do there? How am I going to flip this around? I have this piece of furniture, which is quite wonderful here. And I've tried it in different places in our house, but I really love it here. And I'm going to give this thing a paint job in itself pretty soon. But this is such a great little space. And I'm going to do a little, switcheroo on it and give it a little facelift. And one of the things I've been eyeing up is this wonderful little spot up here that I could nail something onto. So, you know me, I'm going to go hunting around the house, go through the linen closet, hunt through the other rooms, find some little goodies to pull together with you this luscious little statement. So I actually ended up digging around in the basement. The basement becomes a treasure trove. The reason the basement becomes such a treasure trove is after I set up the porch in the summer, then I throw everything down there. So I'm always finding good things, and I have stacks of throws down there that usually end up going on things in the porch. So look at this beauty, which normally is draped over a chair in the porch. I think it will make actually a perfect curtain. So, always think about this kind of stuff. If you have throws and things like that, even if you want to repurpose them, it's great to turn them into pretty little curtains. A curtain doesn't have to be a curtain, right? You're learning this with me. So all I'm going to do, you know me, slam it up, is just attach this right up here, and then it'll swoop beautifully right over here. So I'm going to get hammering.
Down to the years of melancholy, to dwelling in your misty gray hours with the longing in my belly. Down to the catalog of weepy songs that held as my companion far, far too long. Damn, damn, be gone, be gone, be gone, be gone, be gone. Damn.
So this mirror was actually upstairs in one of our bathrooms, and I just wanted to add this funky, cool Moroccan twist to this. You know me, I always love it when anything has that little bit of bohemian. I just think it's more interesting. Plus with this wonderful throw here, look how pretty this is going to be. So I've had nails up here for a while because I had a different mirror up here, but let me just see how this thing is going to look in the mix. And I think more than anything, this is perfect actually because I want it to look like it's leaning instead of hanging. I love sometimes the casual feeling when something is leaning instead of, let me see if I got it, instead of actually hanging. I think it just feels, kind of cool. And then the curtain can kind of come over. I can drape it like this. If I want to, maybe later I can hammer it up, but I sort of like how drapey that is. And now I need some pops of color. So I'm going to dig up a few more little goodies. So I threw this lamp up here, and I always like to have a little bit of, me and little lamps. I just think they're so pretty anywhere. So I'm always looking to find little lamps. Keep your eyes open for those. And then I grabbed a few other wonderful little goodies, a few pops of color and different things. I grabbed this out of my basement too. I haven't had this out of my basement. It's a bit dusty, but that's all right, for a long time. But I think it's kind of, normally up here, I'll do like a symmetrical thing, and I am moving away from that today. I just want to shake it up a little bit. So I love the idea of the height that this adds to it. I always want to include you guys into my whole thought process as we're going through these things together. Now these old gardening books I grabbed literally because, well, I love books in any mix because I think it adds warmth, but also the color of these are so beautiful, and that little pop of color in this statement is very, very pretty. I also found, I have lots of goodies hidden in here, but this was my grandmother's and then my mother's, and it's one of my favorite things. When I left my parents' home to go move to Paris when I was in high school, I said to my mom, there's only one thing I want, and it's this pot, and she gave it to me, and I just love it. I love the yellow and the peacock and the black. It has inspired so many things for me. So I love the idea of this in the statement, and then I've got a few other little gems in here that I'm going to mix in, but I want to show you, I always look for these sorts of things too. A lot of times you can find vintage, you know, wonderful butterflies, beautiful things like this, insects. I'm really into them, of course, probably because we have little boys, but I also think they're fantastic. And I think the color and the nature statement they bring into anything is always really, really interesting. So this is very pretty. You know, I love the way the whole thing is coming together like this. Now let's see, I'm gonna sneak this maybe under to just allow that to come up a little bit. Now for some of my other treasures, I grabbed this candle because again, I love how the blue and the blue ties it all together. Plus it allows your eye to dance around a little bit. You know, when you're setting up vignettes and things, try to back away from them a little bit and look at it for that quality. You know, does your eye actually move around? Again, no different than when you're getting dressed or when you're making food or anything. You know, this stuff is all tied together, all this good pan drippings life stuff. It all comes together in that kind of way. And you'll find that you're doing things in your entire life really consistently, and it makes me that much happier when I feel like everything that I'm touching is being done in the same way. So I know you guys relate in that sort of way. So this candle is so pretty in here, and then can't help myself, had to bring a little bit more nature into the mix. So even, you know, to set these beautiful antlers up like this is so pretty. What else do I have in here? Oh yeah, a few more treasures. You guys have seen my little red shoes that I got in Hong Kong, but again, I love this pop of color, and I always think that, you know, the intensity of red and blue is gorgeous next to each other. Let's put this light on. That looks so pretty there, and I love how the light casts this beautiful little, you know, wonderful feeling across everything. A pretty little leaf plate, and this beautiful little Victorian box is an odd little thing in the mix, but I rather like how it feels. And you know, the whole thing, if I back up from it, I love the feeling of it. It's as though you're walking up to this beautiful altar, if you will, of, you know, things that you love. And, you know, for me, all of these little pieces are very interesting and, you know, very, very pretty in their own little way. And this, I can kind of use this to sort of put that up a little bit. But so, you know, the next time you guys are looking for a vignette to create, consider some of those points. A little pop of color, a little interest from your life, walk around your house, find some little goodies. A little nostalgia always helps too, because it'll always, you know, bring that, just that extra little warmth into your heart.